Morning. What's going on, guys? How's everyone doing? Welcome. How many crazy are getting a new iPhone? The line is long. Damn. Yeah, they were saying the demand for the new iPhone is pretty high, surprisingly, even though it's the same thing. Yeah, I see FedEx down pretty big this morning. Yeah, I'm ready for the weekend too, man. I just want a nice, maybe a few trades early morning and then get on out of here. No incentive to sit here all day for me. So get a nice few early trades and get out, enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the weekend. Have a nice little weekend off. Very nice. All right, so welcome to another stream, Friday, September 16th, and we have some key rejections coming in this morning, some very important levels that are starting to show rejections on the Nasdaq. Last week's lows turning into resistance in the pre-market today, so this is big. If we reject here, this is definitely going to be signaling to more downside. Last week's lows turning into resistance in the pre-market. This is very important. So we'll definitely need to be watching that today, right? So with that said, I guess we'll just go ahead and let's just start it. Let's get out of here early today. I'm feeling that. Let's end the stream like at 8:40. Let's get out of here, Let's enjoy the weekend. So today's the 16th, futures economic earnings calendar. Nothing on the, I may have missed a few earnings. What do we get on earnings this week? I can't see. I can't see the scroll thing on my screen. Nothing really. No, nothing today, and I didn't really miss anything the rest of the week. So nothing too much on the earnings side. Economic side, we have some light things today, nothing major. I'll go ahead and pull that up. So we have, I think we have an inflation expectation, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so we have the 5-year consumer inflation expectations around 10 a.m. today, consumer sentiment around 10 a.m. today. So definitely watch out for 10 a.m. I'm sure we'll see a little bit of volatility then, so just watch out for that. That's really the only economic calendar event to be watching out for this week. Next week, we have to be watching out for Federal Reserve Fed Chair Jerome Powell. 2 o'clock, 2:30, Wednesday. That's the big event. Let's see what happens then, right? But we're not worried about that today. Let's get ourselves some nice scalps today, some short-term trades, and let's enjoy the weekend. So consumer sentiment and 5-year consumer inflation expectations, 10 a.m. That's what I'd be watching. All right. Tesla, big 301 level to watch out for today. Previous support into resistance. Almost every stock that I'm going to show you guys today is a previous support into resistance. This is the break and retest to the downside. Almost every single stock this morning is showing this exact same formation. Yesterday's lows turning into resistance in the pre-market today. Happening everywhere. So we need to be watching out for that. Tesla, this is what's happening. Netflix got a push yesterday, but rejected like it always does. Netflix is a terrible... it just does not hold its moves. It's an intraday type of stock. It does not hold its moves, and it showed itself again yesterday. Google rejected the channel low. This is big for Google. This could definitely be signaling downside. Apple, stair-stepping to the downside. This is important as well. Fedex, UPS, we'll go ahead and take a look at those. Enphase, 312. Snow, that 200 rejection was really nice. And then Amazon, 125. Big level here today on Amazon. All right. So some nice stuff to be watching out for today. You got, as we speak, the Nasdaq rejecting that low still. I'm about to pull it up for you. Here we go. Let's get started. Boom. So, really clean, guys. I mean, look at this. So, here's the 4-hour chart, right? We'll start there. We'll start on 4-hour. And what we can see here is we had a previous low right here. We have a previous low around 11,920 on this 4-hour chart. This is a previous low from back in early September. Now, if we go to the 15-minute chart, actually, you know what? We need a little bit more time than that. Let's go hourly. There we go. There's the hourly chart, right? This is the 1-hour chart. What can we see that's happening this morning? All right, we can see that we have a previous weekly low around 11,920, and we can see that we have broken below this level, and look at what happened when we tried to push back into it. We rejected it already. So if the Nasdaq cannot get back above 11,920, there is absolutely no reason to be even thinking about upside today. I mean, it's just not even in your mind. It shouldn't even be in a thought process. If you cannot get back above 11,920 today, there is absolutely no reason to be looking for upside. You would be looking for rejections all day. If you push up to this and reject again, that's a beautiful rejection, right? That's what I would be looking for. Headwing, thank you, man. Beer money for the weekend. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Keep some for yourself. Have a beer on me. Thanks, brother. Appreciate it. Have a great weekend yourself. So why do I think this is such a strong potential setup? Well, let's go ahead and look back at what happened yesterday. All right, let's look exactly what happened yesterday. The exact same thing. So we look at yesterday, right? We look at where the highs were the previous day, right around here. This whole general area, previous highs, all in this previous rejection on Wednesday, rejection on Wednesday, rejection on Wednesday, all this consolidation in the pre-market. We pushed into it yesterday morning in the pre-market or at market open. Boom, never got above it. Absolutely no reason to be looking for calls, right? Never got above this level. No reason to even think about it. Now you guys can see you slip under it. This is the lows, right? Big weekly lows. Yesterday's lows. Boom, you're back into it. You're rejecting, turning that into resistance. If this stays as resistance, it's going to get weak, right? You need to get above 11,920 if you want to see anything to the upside. And even if you do, you still have so many levels to watch out for. 12,000 should be on watch. All these lows over here should be on watch, right? 1280, 1290. This whole general low in this area is going to have to be on watch, right? Because you see all these support levels, support, and support. If you get a push into that, you got to watch out for that, right? So you have a lot of levels to watch out for above. I would watch 11,920. That's last week's lows. That's that was the previous hold that we saw. This is where we're slipping under it, and we're showing a rejection right at that level this morning. So that's what I would watch for today, guys. Look to see if this 11,920 stays as a rejection. If it does, look for those plays off of that rejection point. If we get above it, I would just be a little bit cautious, right? If we get above it, watch out for 12,000 psychological. That was a little bit of a low here yesterday. You can see support. We did break through it, but we sort of failed it. So I would say watch out for 12,000 psychological next. And then after that, I'd probably look for all of these lows up towards around 12.1. There's always a chance. This market can do, random things, things that I don't expect, right? It's totally possible that maybe we squeeze back up and fill some of this downside. Maybe we squeeze back up into 12,000, right? Totally possible. I'm just going to be a little bit cautious, looking for upside plays and, really being confident in upside plays when we clearly know how weak this market has been. Everyone should understand how weak the market has been, right? So it's a little bit difficult I don't want to be biased, but I also don't want to, be blind to the fact that almost every push that we've seen to the upside has been sold into. And do I want to be sold into? Not so much. So I'm going to be cautious of that. All right. So 11,920, 12,000, and 12,100. Those are the levels I'd watch today on your screen. All right. ES. Similar thing here on the ES, guys. We go to the 4-hour chart. Actually, let's go hourly. You guys can see hourly chart, previous lows of last week. Let's go ahead and take these off and just draw it out now. So previous lows of last week was, what's this low here? This is 38.8350. 38.8350. Let's go ahead and put that on the screen. 38.8350. That was last week's lows. Let's draw a little, just a little bit of a zone there, just to signify that area. Now let's go ahead and break this down into a shorter time frame. 15-minute chart. So you can see the ES is actually attempting to hold this level, whereas the Nasdaq is turning it into a rejection point. So what does that show us? That shows us there's a little bit more weakness on the tech side of things, right? Now, to the upside, pretty clear levels already have formed. I would say around this 38.95 level. You can see right here, 38.95. This little previous double top that we've seen in the pre-market already. I would watch that right there. You can see the ES is starting to break here. And then on the 30-minute, we can go ahead and take a look at some of these levels a little bit higher. Let's go down 15. It's not as clear there on the 30. I would say right here, this 39.20, 39.25, right in this general area would be an area I'd watch. This is a little previous low into a rejection point right here, 39.25, right? And then you have this low right here around 39.06, right? So you have a lot of these pivots to be watching out for if you get upside. I would say 39.06, 39.05, 39.25, and then I would just keep an eye on the major lows over here. All this. You guys can see this whole mess. It's not very clean. It's this whole mess over here at 39.45. So you're getting the stair steps. You're moving down. You got the previous lows that are going to turn into a rejection if you get a push higher. Let me go ahead and break this down to the 5-minute. Get a little bit more detail here for you guys just to sort of show you these levels. You guys can see the 39.45, that was the level from yesterday's video, right? That was the level we were talking about in yesterday's video for where I played my support and rejection plays. You guys can see previous support into rejection, right? Previous lows into a rejection in the pre-market, or I'm sorry, in the after hours, right? This is that 39.23 level, previous support into rejection right here, very clean, right? You break down, you can see this previous double bottom, right? So now you have to watch that. So you have to watch all these pivot levels. If you push higher into this double top, you could reject. If you push higher into this previous low, you could reject. If you push higher into this previous low, you could reject here, right? So you have to watch out for all these pivot levels to the upside. So it's it's difficult to it's difficult when you have all these levels above, it's difficult to trust a straight up move. So these are the days, I don't know if you guys have experienced days like this. There's days where you have a lot of downside levels like this and the stock market just goes straight up. Those are the days that I don't do very well. I will 100% admit that. That's happened to me. I think that happened to me a few weeks ago. We had a lot of downside levels, a lot of levels of rejections above to watch out for, and the market just ripped all day. And so for me, that's tough because I know my levels. I trust my levels. I have to put some type of trust in the levels that I post on my charts. But if they're just breaking through every single one of them, it's hard for me to say, okay, I'm going to buy calls here. We're into supply, right? That I can't get my mind to do that. I'm not going to say, oh, look at this. We're pushing into this rejection point. Let me buy calls. And it just doesn't, it doesn't fit well with my trading style. So we'll have to see, guys, right? If the market pushes higher through these, we'll see if it does. If not, I would watch for these as rejections. 39.8350 was last week's lows. 39.95, I would watch for 39.06, 39.05, and then I'd watch here the 39.25 area on the ES. All right, so that's that. YM. So the YM broke 31,000. Remember this level we were talking about? We were talking about 31,000, about how important this was, right? So you guys can see 31,000. Big time break, guys. So I would say the one and only thing that you want to be looking for today on the Dow is a break and retest of 31,000. If you're trading the Dow, if you're trading something like that, if you're trading, I don't know why you would, maybe someone's trading the Dow futures. I would just look for a break and retest of 31,000. Right? Break, retest, reject there, right? And then look for that downside. The downside levels on the ES, it's, you got to go pretty far back here. You got to go to the daily chart. I don't really like looking at levels on the daily chart, though, so it's not a clean type of, this is the level that we're going to type of move, guys. I mean, look at this. It's a pretty messy area over here. So you got, maybe you can look at these wick highs, 38.75, but, the first pivot, the first low that I'm looking at is right here. This is the first little pivot low that I'm looking at. That's right here. That's 38.40. So 38.40 is right down here. That's the first one that I pointed out to myself. I'm not sure if it's a significant one, right? This is a little bit more difficult as we start to drop. You're going to have to watch the price action intraday. I've been saying this a lot to the Discord. Just it's sort of like a wait and react type of market right now, because you're not quite sure how we're going to react intraday. You got to read that price action. The price action will show you a little bit more insight. We've seen some really weak price action. We've seen it start to slip, and that's where you can start to judge how far do you think this goes. But right now I would say maybe around this 38.40, 38.45 area right here. That's where I would watch out for. Love and appreciate the streams. I know you're saying to compare levels, for example. It should be AO, but sometimes it's not. And let's go ahead and do a little example, right? Sometimes it's not. So we can look at last week's lows on the SPY, and we will see there is a little bit of a difference. I'm not going to lie, right? If we go to the hourly chart, last week's lows on the hourly chart on the SPY were 388. It's pretty close, 388.40. And then on the ES, it was 388. Yeah, 388.35. It's about the same. So you got 388, 3,883.5, which is 388 on the SPY. All right, so you can see right here, 388 on the SPY. So yes, same thing. But today, interesting, the SPY has pushed a lot lower than the ES. And I'm not sure why that is. I think I saw someone say something in the chat earlier that they deviated from each other. I'm not sure why that occurred. So you can see the SPY is significantly lower than this previous low, 388.35, right? And then you have the ES that's right there. So that's interesting. Not sure why. Dividends? You guys know why? Kasim, thank you, man. Oh, the change of contracts? Okay. Yeah, I know the contracts just changed. They went from September to December. That might be why. It could be the change of futures contracts. Yeah, okay, that's why. All right. But regardless, guys, yes, the levels are very similar. It's here let me quickly get this across. When I look at the ES, right, and I say look at this previous week low, right? You see the previous week low that we're looking at here on the left side of your chart? It's the same no matter what the level is. It could be 1,000, right? That level could be 1.5 million. It doesn't matter what the level is. Look at the SPY, right? And look at where the previous week low was. That's all you're looking at. Okay. Vincent said the previous week low on the ES, I like to watch the SPY. Okay, let me watch that same area on the SPY. This level could be 6,000,000.7. Doesn't matter what the level is. Watch the previous week low, right? That's what's important. Previous week low, it's the same chart setup. Previous week low on the SPY and the ES. All right. Let's continue. Tesla. So I like this setup on Tesla quite a bit today. Here's my hopefully one and done trade today. I hope this is one and done today, right here. I am watching Tesla to turn this previous low into a rejection. That's it. I want to see double bottom low into a rejection, sell into it, little bear flag action. Give me this sell. Boom, I'm done for the day. That's what I'm looking for. Would love to see it. Previous double bottom on Tesla, turn it into a rejection, right? That's what I want to see. It's already showing the rejection, right? You can see rejection here, rejection here. Let me get this little uptrend break, and let me sell some puts and ride this thing down. That is what I'm looking for today on Tesla. As easy as that. I'm just going to keep it there. Very simple, very easy. Previous lows into rejection. Very nice. Netflix for a second looked like it was going to do something yesterday. Netflix looked like it was going to do something yesterday, and it did not. It failed, right? I thought for a second, I said, oh, Netflix might be back here. It has some really strong momentum intraday, and you can see, look at the previous lows that turned into a rejection, right? Very clear at 240. Previous lows here. Boom. Previous rejection into support, and then look at this rejection. Right, very nice. So that's what you're looking at on Netflix, right? You have a previous low into a rejection. This is a little double top rejection. Netflix has been in this channel. If the market's weak, I would look for Netflix to maybe trade back to the bottom side of this channel off this rejection point. That could be very possible. So watch out for that. Netflix has had a good catalyst behind it, but if this market starts to get weak today, I would not expect Netflix to move higher. So you can see we pushed up into that 240 yesterday. We attempted a hold, but ultimately we failed right under it. And after we failed back under it, it sold off heavy. So I would look for that 240 level as a rejection on Netflix. Google. Now this is a big breakdown, and this is another high. I think this is another high probability trade today, personally. I mean, it was yesterday more than today, but look at this, guys. So you can see 4-hour chart. Right, we've been watching this channel on Google for a long time now. We know that this channel's been here. Support, 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 and support right here. Look at how perfect this was yesterday. over the last 2 to 3 days, look at how perfect this was. Break. Look at what happened when it tried to push back into it. How clean is that? How clean is that? You break that support. You come under it real quick. Big flush under it, right? You try to get back above. You reject. You try to get back above. You reject. You try to get back above. You reject. And then ultimately, you move to the downside, right? So beautiful setup there on Google. If you guys caught this, congratulations. That was just simple break and retest. If you get any type of upside, I would look for maybe a rejection of like this 105 area. I would look for the previous lows to turn into a rejection there. All right, if you can get any type of sympathy to the upside, get yourself a better put entry. If that even occurs today, we'll have to see. But you guys can see previous lows, previous lows, previous lows, previous lows. I would look for maybe a rejection here, right? If you can get a push to the upside, look for rejection towards that 105. That would be great. If not, here's where you're looking at on Google. Google could be heading back to $100 a share. That looks like where it's probably going to want to go to, guys. So Google has this big time support here. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks of support at 100. That is probably where you're heading back to here. If you go back to the daily chart, let's get a little bit more time. I would say Google is likely to head back to 100 here. And then if you break 100, you have a gap on this daily chart. So this is a good example, guys. I know some of you may have heard of gaps before, and you hear like, oh, you never know when the gap's going to fill. This gap has not filled for about a year and a half. So if you tried to trade this Google gap fill and you got stuck in this, well, you've been waiting about a year and a half to get that gap fill. So watch 100 and then watch 97. If you get that 100 break, look for the gap fill to 97 on Google. All right, Apple. So Apple has been stair-stepping to the downside here. ES is breaking down. Let me see. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's starting to hit that low again. I know you guys can't see that. It's starting to tap that low again on the ES. All right, Apple. So 15-minute on Apple. You guys can see. Let's check this out. Let's look at the stair steps. So first stair step. Let me get the hourly chart, actually. All right, beautiful. So here's the hourly chart on Apple. And let's make sense of what's gone on here. So the first thing that's gone on here is you obviously got the big CPI downside, right? Big CPI downside off of CPI on Apple. Big downside. You held this low. Triple bottom, you held it again. What happens after Apple breaks this previous high? It turns it into a rejection. It's so simple, so clean, right? You break down, you hold the triple bottom. If you get a bounce, where are you watching? You're watching the previous high right here. Look at what happened. Perfect rejection, 156. You try to get above it, or you break down, you hold that low once again. You try to get above that level once again, you reject it, right? Beautiful. Just a beautiful rejection at previous high. Break, retest, rejection. You break this low. What happens yesterday? It's just so clean, man. It's crazy how complicated that we can try to make this market, and it's crazy how simple this is. I mean, it's so rudimentary here. And, it doesn't mean that it's easy to trade, right? Just because we can read these charts does not mean it's easy to trade. And let's take a second and think about that. Take a quick second and think about that. These charts are so easy to read. They're so rudimentary, right? Previous lows into rejection, right? You can see right here. Look how simple this is. Previous lows into a rejection. Look how simple that was. Over here, previous rejections, rejection again. So simple. However, what is the reason why it's difficult to trade this still? Your emotions, right? Your human emotions, your psychology, everything that has to do with pressing the button, risking money, having risk on the table, being nervous, being careful or being like just not comfortable happens to me still too, right? I'm not a millionaire from trading, so it happens to me too. Something everyone's still gonna work to fix. But when you look at these charts, it is so damn simple, right? But when you try to go execute these trades, it is very difficult. And what does that show, right? What does that show you? It's not the market, right? It's not that you don't know what you're looking at. It's not that you can't do your charts, that you can't read technicals. It's your emotion, right? And that's trading, right? That's trading for you. That's why trading is so hard. It's because of your emotions. But this chart is not difficult to read. There is nothing difficult about reading this chart, right? It's just perfect stair-stepping to the downside. Rejection, previous low, rejection, right? You can see it again right here, previous low, rejection. So it's there. It's there for the taking. It's just a matter of how confident you can be, right? And how you can control your emotions. Fedex. Boom. I need a sound for something like this. Just big horn or big destruction sound, something. That's big. But I can't say it's not where it should be trading, personally. If you look at this chart on Fedex, look at how ridiculous this move was on Fedex. Back between, after post-COVID to, December. Look at that move. Boom. Big move. And you're basically just right back to where it was. So you're trading at right here at these highs. So you're basically trading at the right level. I wouldn't, obviously it's a very ugly move for Fedex, but yeah, it's basically trading right here on that 163. You guys can see right there. So I would just watch that 163, guys. That's what I would watch for. 163, 166, this whole level. You can see that level dates back to right here, this previous high. You're trading at it right now, so watch out for that. UPS getting some downside off of it as well. If we go to the 4-hour, we can see UPS is trading at, let's see, 170s. Yeah, I would watch that 170 area. Let's see where this level goes back to here. Daily chart. Let me get a little bit more time. Okay. So you're sitting right at these previous lows. 173. This is actually not a bad level to watch UPS for a hold. I know it probably, it might be tough to see a hold today after that FedEx news. But yeah, watch this, right? Previous rejection into support, right? Look to see, does this hold? Does it hold or does it turn into a rejection, right? That's what I'd look for. This is a big level on the daily chart. 173, this whole previous high into support previously, you're right back at it. All right, Enphase. Enphase, it's been strong, but there's probably going to be a time where this starts to lose it. But as of right now, Enphase has been strong. I would just watch out for this 305 retest, right? I would watch the 305 retest on Enphase. It's been strong with the market, right? Clean energy has been sort of an outperformer, so I would just watch previous highs into support. Look to see if this zone holds on Enphase. I would not trade it today. I would wait to see if it holds. Maybe look for it next week. But yeah, watch this Enphase area, 300 to 305. It held very strong. Even through CPI, it held up. So it might still try to hold here. So watch this 300 to 305 on Enphase. All right, Snow. Big 200 rejection, guys. This is definitely another watch for me. You can start to see the double top coming in, right? Double top Snow, 200, 200. Go to the daily chart. Look at this, guys. This is another pretty top watch for me today. Double top on Snow. Big can. Oh, yeah. I really like this, actually. Look at this. Look at this wick on the SPY daily, or on the Snow daily. Look at this wick on the Snow daily. Look how identical that is. And look at what happened after that wick. Definitely watching Snow. If there's market downside, I'm definitely watching Snow off 200. Moving down. Yeah, we're getting that downside move. Let me pull up the... 1 second. I want to pull up the economic calendar real quick. All right, here we go. I wanted to see what else could this affect. So what time was that again today? Sorry, guys, I forgot. Okay, 10 a.m. 10 a.m. today was the consumer inflation expectations. All right, so I guess just 10 a.m. Because I want to see what time I want to stay here till. I think I'm gonna have to stay till 10 a.m. Because we're getting that action here. You're getting that action here, and I wanted to get out of here early today, but 10 a.m. might be where I need to stick around for. Yeah, you guys can see the ES is pulling back a little bit. Definitely, you broke those lows. Big break. Look at this. Let's look at the Nasdaq. Nasdaq's still at that low, so watch out for that. But you can clearly see the rejection. You can clearly see the rejection. Look at that. Right off 11,920. That is gorgeous. Boom. All right. What's next? Snow definitely on watch, without a doubt. Amazon. I love this Amazon as well. So here's Amazon, guys. And this was a big level that we broke below. Amazon, you guys can see previous highs here. Into support. You can see we broke below it. So what are we looking for today? What is the best trade setup today? I think a push back into 125, a rejection, all right? Look for this. If this starts to show rejection, sell into it. Look for that next move, right? Look for that next move. Yeah, unfortunately, gold saw some on the live stream, so I really can't trade futures as I'm on the live stream. I wish I could, but that's, unfortunately, I missed this move. Yeah, 125, rejection, right? Support. And then you guys can see if you get a push back into that level, I would love to play that rejection. I'm not sure you're going to get the push, but if you're patient enough, maybe you get it. And I would look for that hold or that rejection. All right, guys. I'm going to get out of here early today. So, Snow, here's my top watches for you today, guys. Tesla, great watch. Love this. Number one watch. Previous support into a rejection. This is a great watch. Previous support into rejection. That's my number one watch. Number two watch, Snow, 200 rejection. Here, I just want to let it fade, right? So here I would take maybe a longer expiration contract, let it fade, just let it sit, put my stop over 200. If I get stopped out, I don't care. I go ahead and have a margarita this weekend. Who gives a shit, right? If I don't get stopped out, I let that baby run. Third favorite setup probably is going to be Amazon. If can't believe I just said that. If we get a push to the upside on Amazon, look for that push into 125, reject that level, look for that to fail. Those are my top 3 plays today. All right, guys. Have a fantastic weekend. Remember, I think that point I made earlier was very true. You can read the charts. You're a good trader. You know what the technicals you're looking at, right? It looks good, right? It makes sense. These charts can make a lot of sense. It's the emotion. It's the psychology. That could be the one step that that you need to take that step towards being a little bit more successful. Now, I by no means am a perfect trader. I have losing days. I have shitty days. I have good days. I have mostly better days than I have shitty days. But, right, I still work on these things myself. I still work on, trying to eliminate emotion. I think I'm just someone that really puts in a lot of time to do it and really sticks to those rules. And I think that's what has helped me, really sticking to the rules. Because we can all say to ourselves, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. But when it comes to the heat of the moment, I know this because I've done it, right? I know what we all do when we're at the screen. I'm a trader. You're a trader. I know what happens. You're at the screen. You're breaking your rules. You're not stopping. You're continuing to trade. You're in a loss. You're not selling it. I understand, right? I've been there so many times, and I still do it at times. So that's the last little thing that you need. It's not that you don't know how to trade. It's not that you don't know your charts. It's the emotion. It's the psychology, and that's the hardest part. So hopefully I can help. I hope you guys have a great day. And have a great weekend, and I will see you back here on Monday. Peace out.